This is a story about irony. Headed to the airport. How's it going? We're traveling out of the country today, and about a month ago I was diagnosed with celiac, which basically just means that I can't have gluten. But we're at the airport and they have like no gluten-free food. So for breakfast we're having a smoothie. So earlier I said this was going to be about irony, and they say irony is a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects and is often amusing as a result. And that's just from Google. But in order to explain why that applies to this, I have to give a little bit of a backstory. The flight just got delayed, so now we're figuring out how to get there. Apparently the FAA had a system go down, so all their flights got halted nationally. Problem is that my flight got pushed back, so I'm going to miss all of my connecting flights in getting to Tortola. Ooh, that's the travel agent. Hello? Amazing. So now I just wait for this flight to get to Charlotte, and then I have to hit that 3 o'clock. So we got booked on the later flight, but now we just need this flight from New York to Charlotte to actually take off. So we just landed in Charlotte, and we have our flights changed, so hopefully we should still be able to make it from Charlotte to San Juan, Puerto Rico today. Gotta call the travel agent again. Hey, you're good. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me by now. Okay, awesome. We got the ticket. So I was 15 at the time, and I was a freshman in high school. I had just finished freshman year, and I really wanted an internship. Now, I was still big into video and photo at the time, so I wanted to look for a video and photo internship. Thankfully, my sister had a connection to someone who owned a real estate company, and part of the real estate company was a production company that handled all their social media, their advertisements, and I thought I had a good in, so I submitted an application. We're halfway through the trip, but the problem is that that is where my bag is supposed to be, and it's not there. So we talked to someone, and they're supposed to be setting it out on hopefully the next ramp, so now we just wait. Again. I think I see it. There it is. Got the bag. Now we just have to call another Uber. Una second, ¿verdad? We finally made it. I send in this application, super long, and I get accepted. I remember the first day I show up, and the office is in this building in the city that was just massive. It was one of those buildings that you pass by and you always look up and you're like, what do the people in there do? And I always thought I would never end up in a building like that. And somehow or another, they let me in the building. They gave me the parking pass, the pass for the building, and the people there were super nice. It was great. Something I realized pretty quickly though was that I don't do well with corporate stuff. And the space was a corporate office, so as soon as I got in there, I started struggling a little bit. I have really bad ADHD, and I can't sit down for long. The second day I was there, I got in a car accident, and someone hit my car while I was driving home. At the time, it was my dad's car, so I felt even worse about it, and that was a level of stress. By the third day, I found out that my grandpa was hospitalized, and his health had been slowly declining. He just hadn't been in the best place lately, and they were pretty sure that this was going to be close to the end. At that point, I was pretty down. I had been dealing with some depression at the time, and just with a mix of all of that coming together, I couldn't keep going. I sent an email, and I was like, hey, I really appreciate you guys, but I don't think this is going to work out. I have to go back to Pennsylvania to see my grandpa before he dies, and I'm just not in a good mental space to keep doing this for you. I remember as I was sending in that email to tell them that I wasn't going to be able to work there anymore, I was obviously thinking about my grandpa, but I was also thinking, am I burning a bridge? Is this an opportunity that I'm going to regret closing the door on, and a door that I'm not going to be able to walk back through? And looking back on it, I could not be more wrong. It's about 2019 now, and I've graduated high school early, and at this point I've been doing full-time videography for at least a year. One of our clients was a luxury retreat client, and they hosted a lot of events for women empowerment and financial success, things like that. They call and tell us that they want us to come capture photo and video for their event. And my buddy at the time was the person who handled most of the communications, so I just completely trusted him with it, had no idea where the retreat was being held. The day comes where we're ready to go to the event and we're getting on the plane. All I know is that it's in the Caribbean. I know the type of events, but I don't know anything about where it's being hosted, etc. After 3 planes, I get on a boat and I'm going from St. Croix over to Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. I get a text from my sister that says, "Hey, are you going to Brittany's Island?" And I was like, I don't know. And then slowly in my head, I started realizing, I was like, I could be. She and her company did a lot of work in the British Virgin Islands, and she recently bought an island, but I don't know. I think you guys see where this is going. Finally, the ferry gets to the island, and by the way, these are the best sweat shorts I've ever had. Perfect pajamas. Ferry gets to the island, and as soon as we get there, we get to greet our clients, the ones that are hosting us there, and the people who own the island. And lo and behold, Brittany walks up to me. Brittany is the owner of the company that I interned for a total of 4 days. Get this. The first thing that she says to me is, "Hi Eli, I hope you're doing well. I'm a little bit worried you're gonna swim away from the island after 2 days." It was very well timed, and it was a very witty statement that was very funny, and I don't blame her. Of course though, after joking about how the internship went and giving my apologies again, thanking her for the opportunity, the event went amazing. She loved our work so much that she actually brought us back to film and photograph her personal wedding and a lot of her subsequent events. That is why today we are in this hotel, stuck here for the night because travel is a bit insane, but we're in San Juan, and tomorrow morning we'll fly to Tortola so that we can get to her island, which is just off the coast of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands, and we'll be filming the Dream Summit. So the irony there is that the person who owned the island that we were staying at is the one whose internship I had quit a few years prior. And I thought I was never going to make it to the British Virgin Islands. I thought I was never going to be able to travel and film because I had burned a bridge. But in the end, it all worked out. Everything that was supposed to happen happened, and here we are again, going back to the island.